Okay, we're going to talk about how to make this nose gear, and I guess the main reason why you would want to do this is so you could make this bearing block. You could 3D print that if you don't have access to one, and of course you could come in here and make a slot in here to put your tiller arm in here, or you could put your tiller arm at the top or tiller arm down underneath, however you want to do it. But this is just kind of a quick thing, and hopefully when I show how to do this, you're able to figure out how to draw the tiller arm if you're going to you know, 3D print that. So let me go back over here to the file that we were on last time and open it up. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the wings off and this gear off here, and let's create a new component and go down here, and we're going to call this nose gear and say OK. And we want to bring in the fuselage and possibly the canvas here so we can see where we need to be with this. Got the machine running slow today, so I got a few new subscribers, and which is good, and some people have sent me questions, and hopefully I've answered them good enough. But if you do have questions, feel free to ask. And don't worry about this saddle cutout. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. I just wanted to do something a little light to, you know, the landing gear is kind of fun for me. I'm going to turn off this left side of the fuselage so I can kind of see what we got going on here. And basically what I want to do is I'm going to create a sketch on this firewall, and as far as the dimensions of this, that's entirely up to you, however you want this to be. I'm just going to draw me a little rectangle there. I'm going to come in here and draw me a little center line here. It's going to come in handy. And now I'm going to center this box. So this is the Symmetry Tool. I don't know if I've showed this yet or not, but it's going to center this little rectangle on this on the firewall. And basically what you do is you select one side of the object you want to be constrained and the other side, and then select your center line. First few times I did that, I had some difficulties and couldn't figure out what I was doing. But we live and learn, right? So I don't know, this shows it going down a little further than that, but that's fine. We're going to put it right here. And that's what we need right now. We're going to finish this sketch, and I'm going to extrude this. If we look at the side here, we can kind of see how thick this little piece is. So I'm going to pull it out to, yeah, about right there. Now we're going to come back to this, and I'm going to create a sketch on top of that. And we're going to kind of do the same thing here. Make a little sketch, and let's make a center line. So if you're doing a construction line, you can hit this little thing on the box right here, or you can hit X. See, when you hit X, it changes that. So you know, I do like keyboard shortcuts. So we're going to do the same thing with the Symmetry Tool here. Select the one side, select the other side, and then the center line that we want that to be symmetrical. It's you know, symmetric too. And we're going to call that this dimension for our purposes. Oops. For our purposes, this is fine. However big you want to make it, you do it. That's on you. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the fuselage now. I'm going to finish this sketch, and I'm going to extrude this out. Let's see here. Oh, we're going to go out to where this shows, and I'm going to put an 1/8 inch gear in this thing. So let me turn the canvas off. I don't need it anymore, and I want to create a sketch on top of here. And let's draw that little center line again. It just helps us line everything up. Okay, come back and get our circle tool, and we don't want it to be a construction, we want it to be a real line. And since I'm going to use 1/8 inch wire, I'm going to make this 0.127 just so there's a little room in there. And we kind of want to move it along this line here where it's going to look pretty good. We could probably even come back on that too. So let's just say that's good. All right, we're going to finish that sketch. I'm going to extrude this through here. And when I want it to go through something, you can click over here and go to Object. But if I just click on the face where I want this hole to go, it will do that. So there we have our hole for our gear. And now I'm going to come here and get the Fillet tool. Make a couple of fillets here. Wherever they look good. I'm not measuring any of this. This is just kind of eyeball measuring. One thing cool, like when I grab the Fillet tool, if you scroll over, I can see that other joint right there. So I can grab that and then, you know, it'll appear from back there. And let's put fillets here. You can put fillets wherever you want. And we'll call that good right there. Okay. And to put holes in this should be pretty simple for everyone. I'm going to create a sketch right here. Again, I'm going to create a center line, a center construction line. In there, when you see that diamond, that means you have it. Okay. And let's get a circle here. And let's turn the construction line off. And I don't know what we're going to do here. I'm going to make them a 1/16 of an inch. So whatever size you want this to be, that's the size you make it. Okay. And I'm going to create another construction line off of the center of here. Then I'm going to come up here and get, let me move this down just a bit. Put this wherever you want it. Right there. Let's get the mirror tool. This is what I want to mirror. And my mirror line is this one right here. Click OK. Finish the sketch. And then we just need to put these over there on the other side. We can do this a couple of different ways. One way is to create a rectangular pattern. But you know what we could do? We could go ahead and put our holes in here. Come back to there, there, and we should be able to create a rectangular pattern with these. And we want to select features, and we're going to select this extrude and the direction that we want. Is that going to work? Yeah, there we go. We don't want 3, we just want 2. Okay, and ideally you want to measure these, but that looks like about the center of that. So we go okay, and there we have our bolt holes for both sides of that. So now the fun part is to create the coil, and it's not as difficult as you can imagine. You go to create, you select coil, and just select anywhere you want to put this. And we're not going to give it a specific diameter, but we want the section size to be 1/8 inch for our wire. And then let's make this a little bit smaller this way. And we can make the coil smaller. I don't know what the minimum radius is on a coil for 1/8 inch music wire, but we're just going to guess that this is it. And that looks okay. Now we need to line all this up. And I am not sure for the non-subscribers if you have joints in assembly. I know there's some tools that you don't have, but I think the joint is on there. But one of the things I want to do, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to extrude this face, and I'm going to bring it up, and we want to create, let's turn this off. Let's turn our little bearing off, so because we want to join this to that. And then let's we can do the same, but let's do this. So in order to create an assembly, you have to have components. So I'm going to come down here and we're going to name this the nose gear wire, and I'm going to call this the bearing, nose gear bearing, if I can spell gear properly. Alright, now we're going to create components from these two things. I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to say create components from body, and I'm going to right click on here, create components from body. So now we have the nose gear wire and the nose gear bearing. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to come up here to assemble. I'm going to go joint, and if I click on the center there, you see it highlights. Let's do this. I want this to join to here. Okay, so that moves it up to there like that. And when we do that assembly, let me go back here to edit. We can move this up and down however high you want this. So like right now the spring is a little low, so let's just move it up until the spring is in the right spot. Now if you want the spring toward the back, we're going to rotate it 180 degrees, and now the spring is going toward the back. And then we can click, we'll raise this up just a bit more. Yeah, there we go. And I'm going to click OK. Now what we need to do is we need to extend this on down. Let's turn our canvas on. I want to see how far down this needs to go. Yeah, we probably could move that down just a little bit. Let me edit this joint just so it's where it is on the plan. That's pretty good. Alright, now and again, all these dimensions, they're entirely up to you. This is just to show you how that you can create all this. Now this is one way to extend this down and make the bend for the axle. I'm going to come in here, I'm going to create a sketch on this little place right here, and all I'm going to do is create a guideline right across the center of that. Okay, then I'm going to say finish sketch. Now I didn't want it to zoom all the way out, but let's do this. We're going to let's look at the bottom here. I want to get a plane at an angle, and I want to select that right there, and I'm going to turn that plane 90 degrees. So that plane is running across the center of the radius of this wire. So I'm going to click OK. Now let's go back home, and I'm going to select that plane to create a sketch on, just like so. And then let's snap to the center there, and we can kind of see how far down we need to go here on the right side, and there we go. Now let's take this back home, and we need to kick this off that way and go to the front. We want 90 degrees and however long you want your axle to be. Okay, let's go ahead and dimension this right here just for good measure, and we need to dimension from here to there, and that should make everything great. Now let's come in here and create a fillet right here, and whatever the radius is supposed to be here, that's what we want to put in there. I think it's actually about that. I think we can go 1/8 inch, but anyway. Okay, now what we want to do, let me turn the canvas off. Now I'm going to come up here and I'm going to create a sweep. So, well, let's finish our sketch. Sorry. I'm going to come up here and create a sweep, and the profile I want is this profile, and the path I want is this path, and there you have it. So now we have our nose gear. So one thing we want to do is line up the holes from here to through the firewall, and let's see what the easiest way to do that is. Okay, I'm going to hide the firewall. We're going to select the fuselage as the thing we want to be working on. And I'm just going to come back here, the back of this. I'm going to create a sketch right there. I'm going to hit slice so I can look at what I want. And I am going to project this whole face, this whole thing right here. So now we projected all these circles, which is what we want. And let's go back up here and turn our nose gear off, turn our firewall on, and wherever that sketch went, it's right there. So let's we got too many sketches on right now. There we go. We want to extrude this, extrude this, extrude this, extrude this, and click on that face. It drills our holes for us, and now we can turn on our nose gear, and there you have it. There's a nose gear just like that. And like I said, you can you could break this apart when you create this center section if you want the tiller arm here in the middle, which a lot of designers did back in the day. Or you could extend this up a little bit and make your tiller arm up here on top, wherever you want to do it. So, but that is basically how to draw a nose gear. And the main thing is you're able to line up these holes with your firewall and the block that you either 3D print or you get dimensions from a manufactured nose block or bearing block, whatever. So anyway, this is a short one, and I'll be back next week. We'll try to get that wing saddle done and draw the canopy, and we'll be just about done with this model, and we'll move on to some other experiments. Anyway, I hope everyone's having a great day, and you have a great Easter. Thank you.